Hey students, I'm going to teach you something cool today, and I don't have marshmallows, so we're going to use these Oreo cookies to teach it to you. The big question is, could you wait, as a 4-year-old, could you have waited if someone said, I'll give you one Oreo cookie now, and if you can wait, it's going to be about 5 minutes, but we don't tell kids that, you can have a second Oreo cookie. Could you have resisted looking at the Oreo cookie right in front of you the whole time, look at that cream, and not eating it? The marshmallow experiment is a classic experiment on self-regulation. So what we do is we find out how good 4-year-old kids have self-regulation skills. Most kids can't wait for that second marshmallow. Okay, they go ahead and dive into it. I forget the percentages. I don't have them right here, but I think it's about 75% of 4-year-olds can't wait for the second marshmallow. But let's take a look ahead, as you'll see in one of the videos, the Zimbardo video. How effective is it if kids learn to wait? What does it matter? Who cares if a kid can wait for a few minutes for something? Well, what we look at is that the kids who are able to wait for that second marshmallow, if we zoom ahead 18 years later, they have better grades. They score better on their SATs, about 200 points better on their SATs. They have better relationships. They report to being happier. They report to being more satisfied with their life. They're more better adjusted. They handle stress better. They're ranked by their classmates to be more popular, more adventurous, more confident, and more dependable. They're less likely to be lonely. They're less likely to be frustrated. Whoa, how can that be? How can that one thing of self-regulation, of waiting for that second marshmallow or second Oreo cookie matter so much? What we find is that self-regulation is a master skill. It cuts across a whole bunch of areas. And if you've got the ability to delay gratification, to wait for good things to happen, you've got a skill that's going to get you success in a wide variety of areas. Our estimates suggest that only about 20% of success is accounted for IQ. That means 80% is accounted for by other things. What are some of those other things? Well, a big other thing is self-regulation skills, the ability to work hard, get through tough things, wait for the good things to happen, do your work first, eat your peas first. As Grandma said, as Barack Obama said, we've got to do the hard things first, right? Okay, so what we're looking at, okay, is that people who can delay gratification have a skill that really benefits them throughout their life. Now, you know some 20-year-olds who don't have that skill yet. You know some 30-year-olds. You know some 60-year-olds who don't have that skill yet. Think about their lives. Think about people who fly off the handle really easily. Think about people who can't wait for that thing. Think about impulse buying, speeding, relationships that are really poor choices, sex you didn't plan, drinking you didn't think to do. So the ability to delay instant gratification is a huge skill. You've got that skill. You could wait for this cookie for a long time, and I'll bet you could get the second cookie, and I'll bet a lot of you, even as 4-year-olds, could get it. And if you couldn't do it at 4, you figured it out by now. Do you know how I know that? Because you're in college. And just being in college means you're delaying gratification. Because think of how hard you're working. Think of how thin the reinforcement schedule is. Think of how few cookies there are in college. People, you know this, right? You just don't get much good stuff, right? Why are you in school at all? Because you think it's going to lead to a better job, or better pay, or a better life. And the research supports that's true, but that's another podcast. You've probably got this skill. The other skill that's related to this is the ability to be able to self-soothe and change your moods. So once you're in a high anxiety state, to get to a low anxiety state. If you're in a low arousal state, to get to a high arousal state. So if you're bored or sleepy, you go for a run. If you're keyed up, you take a bath. If you've got that skill to be able to manage your moods and emotionally self-regulate, you're really onto something. Okay, it's cookie time. Enjoy the cookie. Yum, 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 yum.